Yo, yo. It's time to start the stream now. All right, so today we'll be talking about the Delphi Murders. We'll be talking about the Lauren Agee case. We'll be talking about other shit too, I guess. But mainly those two cases. A lot of people don't know about the Lauren Agee case, and everybody knows about Delphi, so I want to talk about another case as well. An interesting case too that I don't know if everybody's heard of yet. But I want to smoke up here. Get some weed into me. I just got home not too long ago. Today we are smoking something different than before. I had this last time. Well, now we got Northern Lights today. Oh, fuck. I might have to restart the stream. Fuck. I gotta restart the stream. God damn it. Never mind. We'll fucking let it go. Yeah, Delphi Murders, Lauren Agee case. That's what we'll be talking about today. I'm just gonna wait a minute, see if anybody joins in. But if not, you guys can catch this video later while I'm talking about it and shit. Ooh. That's what we're working with today, boys. Oh! Yeah, I picked this up on the way home today. Northern Lights. I haven't smoked much today, so I'm trying to get some into me before we start this up. Probably should have did this before stream, but whatever. All right, I guess we'll just get into it now then. All right, so the first thing I wanted to talk about today. So there's a guy I watch on YouTube who talks about the Delphi murders. And very recently, I think it was yesterday, I think this guy's YouTube name is Unsolved No More. This guy was saying yesterday that Tobe Lesenby reached out to him and said that he's going to bring him on to the case pretty much to help out with the case. That's if he gets elected to be sheriff again next year. And I thought that was super fucked up, man. Reaching out to YouTubers for help in a case, like, what's this new direction you guys are going in? Asking for random people on YouTube for help with the case? It makes no sense to me. This tells me that the case is like at a standstill right now and they're making no progress. They're reaching out to people on YouTube. And it's not like they're reaching out to like Gray Hughes or something either. Like they're reaching out to other people. They're not reaching out to Anthony Greeno who lives there. They're reaching out to Unsolved No More. I'm pretty sure that was his name. I think he's like a cold case detective or something. But to me, like, it's fine. Like, if he wants to reach out to people, all right, but it just shows to me, like, a sign of fucking desperation when you're working on a case like that, you know? Like, I can't recall in any other case where they start reaching out to YouTubers and shit. That's just weird, man. I feel like they're just damaging the case, like, the longer it goes. It probably started with a botched investigation because of the search party and everything. And then it just went from there, man. Now they're asking YouTubers for help. The only people of interest are random people. It's not like somebody they're really focused in on. And I'm telling you, man, withholding this information is not good. Because I can think of 100 different examples right now where If you would have told us the information from the fucking start, it possibly could have helped. So I'm gonna put it to you this way. So I used to go to school with a guy. This we'll say it's grade like 5 to 8. So, anyways, this guy in school, he used to bring guns to school in his backpack. He used to bring like pistols, like old like 1970 revolvers, all sorts of stuff. Eventually, the guy got suspended. And then I think again later on, 2 years later, maybe around grade 8, the same kid was bringing a bunch of knives to school, like special like hunting knives, expensive hunting knives. Kid got suspended again. So this guy has already brought guns to school, and he's brought like certain specific knives. So if there was a crime that was gonna happen in the area and they died by like a certain gun or a specific knife, then instantly everybody would know, right, it's that fucking guy right there. He's the one bringing these fucking pistols to school. He's the one bringing these fucking special knives to school. It's fucking that guy. It's the same thing with that rumor that's going around with that Garrett, man. There's apparently rumors going around about they were killed by a Garrett. I don't even know if that was in the leaked text messages or what, but I'm hearing a lot of people mention a Garrett. A Garrett was used. But let's say that's true. Let's say a Garrett was actually fucking used in the crime. Well, if you know a guy who has a Garrett in his house and like you know some weird guy at work, yeah, I got a Garrett, guys, or just talks about it randomly or maybe even shown you one time, then you would instantly know, all right, these people were killed by a Garrett. I know a guy who has a Garrett at his house. So I'm gonna report that guy, send a tip in. That's fucking Mike from fucking Best Buy, you know what I mean? He's got the Garrett, it's probably him. So there's things like that that they're just holding out on, which is just damaging the case constantly. And like the recent thing going around here is everybody's back to accusing fucking Ron Logan. I don't know why. People are accusing fucking Ron Logan again. Like I can understand at the start and shit when you're accusing Ron Logan because like the case is new and everything. Let's say 2017, you're like it's fucking Ron Logan because the bodies were on his property and like you don't have too much information. All right, I can understand why you would choose Ron Logan to be like your POI, but I just don't see how 5 years later. Like, I'm seeing this all the time. 5 years later, there's still people saying this. Oh, it's Ron Logan, it's flannel shirt guy. I don't know how people are still making these accusations. They get supporters too, man. They get fucking supporters too. I don't get that. They can just throw out any fucking name and people will just agree with it. Ron Logan, fucking Mike Patty. Like, I'm pretty sure it was today. I got home. I just watched a couple of videos real quick. And I guess Mike Patty is holding Bridge Guy like in a safe place. Mike Patty knows who Bridge Guy is. And he's keeping him safe. Like, what type of bullshit is that? And then you'll see that get like 100 likes and fucking shares and stuff. Like, oh, that's a good point. Like, I don't understand how accusing Mike Patty and fucking Ron Logan at this stage of the crime, like 5 years later, makes any sense. Like, accusing flannel shirt guy. I don't think that guy fucking knows anything. That guy doesn't know anything at all. That guy's going blind. He doesn't know anything at all. And he's fucking radio silent from what I heard now, too, so we'll never know. We're never going to get some confirmation from fucking flannel shirt guy ever again. And Shawn Harmon, if he's in here or if he's listening, I've heard some weird shit going around. I don't know if anybody else mentioned this, but he was saying his dad had fucking reconstructive knee surgery. If this reconstructive knee surgery is true after, I think he said a motorcycle accident, there's no fucking way he was running through that terrain. There's no way he was running up and down hills, fucking through the creek on a bridge with fucking that type of knee. When you're 68 years old, reconstructive knee surgery, there's no fucking way with him. There's no way. And I got a comment on my video, which is possibly somebody in Shawn's family who was saying, yeah, like Dennis Harmon actually has lung issues. So there's no way a guy with lung issues, a reconstructive knee, and he was 68 years old, was fucking running through that terrain, man. Have you seen Anthony Greeno go through that terrain? It's fucking rough, man. Anthony Greeno was out of breath. How is Shawn Harmon's 68-year-old dad with bad lungs, reconstructed knee, gonna fucking go through out there? And they were saying this guy was quick, according to the fucking timeline, too, man. If this timeline's correct, they were saying he was quick. Like, he was fucking in and out. So There's no fucking way. And then people turn that accusation down. It's like, oh yeah, my dad traded horses with Ron Logan. You see that? You see that horse in that one photo with Ron Logan? Yeah, my dad traded him that horse. Who comes up with this, man? I don't know why, but it seems like the theories and shit, all the theories will get this crazy amount of views. Like anything that has like some sort of logic to it, like me saying, I don't think we've heard of the guy. I don't think we know who this person is. Like makes no sense to somebody, but when you throw out Mike Patty's name, it's fuck. Oh, it's probably Mike Patty. All right, that's a good point there. He has a camera on his hat. You got a good point there. It's like that's fucking nuts, man. And like I'm saying, if it was like relatively new crime and you're saying this, all right, but it's just crazy. I'm seeing this 5 years later. From Shawn, it's all right though. Like you know, it's gonna be from Shawn. Shawn's gonna say it, but when I'm seeing like other people say this, to me, it's fucking crazy, man. And with the amount of people that agree with it, that it's fucking Ron Logan. It's Ron Logan in almost 2022. I think Ron Logan's now like fucking in his 80s. I've seen some videos of Ron Logan because like I never heard him talk before, and I found like an interview on here. That dude sounds old as shit. I saw a picture of him. I got nothing against like fat people or anything, but Ron Logan looks out of shape and old. So if we're trying to cancel out Ron Logan here, I'm pretty sure he's got an alibi. I'm an expert on his alibi. From what I was told, though, he was eating pizza, drinking beers, and on top of that, the dude's more out of shape than fucking Shawn Harmon's dad. He's older. He's like 10 years older than Shawn Harmon's dad. So at the time of the crime, I think Ron Logan, this is just a rough estimate. I haven't looked this up. I think he was like 78 or some bullshit. So the 78-year-old that wasn't even home at the time apparently came home, like just fucking killed these two young girls on his property, left them there on his property, then dipped. I don't know. You'd have to be like, I've heard other people say this too. You would have to be the worst fucking criminal in the world to fucking just kill two people on your property, leave them there without even trying to hide them whatsoever, just beside a hiking trail. And like Ron Logan's got like a lot of property, so why would you kill them right beside the creek where people are walking down and shit, and the bridge is right there? It makes no sense at all. And like I wish I had the police report and the alibi just right in front of me so I could pull it up right now and see where the fuck Ron Logan is. But I don't even know where these police reports are, man. They're impossible to find. Like I just trust like Anthony Greeno, and like I'll try and find some stuff from the police, but like certain police reports and certain information I just can't seem to find when it comes to this case for whatever reason. Maybe I'm just not looking hard enough. But I'm pretty sure he was at the pizza place. He was drinking beers. And if he wasn't there, he's picking up like fish or something. And then like I guess the only thing that makes him a little dishonest, I guess, is that he was driving around without his like driver's license or some shit like that. I think he had like suspended driver's license and he was driving to like the dump or something as well. Something along those lines. So that made him a little sketchy. He like lied about his alibi because he didn't want to get caught for not having a license at the time. He was driving around. Like I was saying, he was at the pizza place. Like he had to drive there, but he doesn't even have the valid driver's license. So he was lying on his alibi a bit. Dude already got thrown in prison and everything. Everybody knows it's not fucking Ron Logan by now, I feel like. But I don't know. There's a guy out there. I'm not gonna say his fucking YouTube name. I'm not gonna bring people over there if anybody sees this fucking video or live stream, if there's anybody even watching. But this guy claims he has solved the Zodiac murders. He's been on YouTube for like 3 years. And then he hops over to Delphi, and it's like instant. He's like, all right, after hundreds of hours of research on Delphi, my conclusion is that it is Ron Logan. And it's just like, out of all fucking people, man, are you serious? How are you accusing, out of everybody, you're telling me you solved the Zodiac case, and then you're telling me that Ron Logan is bridge guy in this? Like, come on, man. This is some day one shit now. But But the experts, the so-called experts, will say that. The people with the private investigator licenses and all that shit, like the credentials, oh, I fucking solved Zodiac and all that shit, man. They throw out Mike Patty's name and Ron Logan. I gotta take a break here, though. If anybody has seen, this is what we're smoking. Oh, Willy Wonka. Okay, so Willy Wonka, I think you were in here last time. We upgraded from the Good Supply to fucking, what do we got in here? Oh, no, my nugs, man. No. We got the Northern Lights, man. My nugs are falling out and shit. It's dropping massive nugs all over the place. Man, this was good, though, but I need to switch it up. I don't know if anybody saw the video that the captain made today about Shawn Harmon. That was the funniest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. Willy Wonka, if you haven't seen this video that the captain made today about Shawn Harmon, like, it wasn't all about him, but funniest thing I've ever fucking seen, man. That guy is good at making fucking videos. I was laughing my ass off, man. I saw that today. That was so funny to me. Shawn's like a ghost or something popping in. That was funny, man. Check that video out, guys, if you haven't seen it. Type in the name in. Boom. Yeah, man, that's fucking hilarious. I didn't even think the captain smokes. I don't know how he came up with that, man. Fucking legend. And he did it in like a nice way, man. Like, I couldn't pull that off at all, man. I couldn't pull. I'm too mean, I guess. I couldn't pull something like that off. That was some funny shit, man. I gotta point this out too. Everybody can agree with this, man. Another person's name who is getting thrown around all the time that makes no sense to me. And I don't even know, it might be based off the picture alone, and that's it. But they're saying Tobe. They're like, oh, it's fucking Tobe, man. Like, we're 5 years deep into this, and there's people that like live and breathe this case every day, and they're like, it's Tobe, man. It's Tobe Lesenby. Like, and they just fucking live and breathe this shit every day. It's fucking Tobe. It's just like, where is this coming from? Like, I can see on the bridge, like, the smaller stature and shit, but I think you'd see that massive fucking mustache, man. You could see, even from a distance, that's a thick fucking mustache, man. Ain't nobody have that mustache. You'd be able to see that from a distance. It's like pure fucking black. Like, if I had that mustache, man, from a distance, you probably couldn't even tell, because, like, it's like a blondish type color. But his is thick and black. You'd see that from a distance 100%, man. And we're talking like a huge amount of people are saying that, too. It's Tobe. So it's just like, I don't know how, man. It's just like every name that's available to us, it's that guy. It's fucking Mike Patty. It's fucking Daniel Nations. I'm telling you, it's nobody we've heard of 100%. Okay, I'm going to skip past Delphi for a little bit and talk about another case for a brief amount of time here. If anybody has not heard about this case, guys, there's many videos on this case. It's very strange. It's a fucking mystery. Possibly a botched investigation. I wouldn't recommend a case to somebody that would make you fall asleep or anything like that. But I think this is a good mystery. And you know, like, you don't know who Bridge Guy is, but you know who is possibly responsible for this murder. And you literally have to decide pretty much which person is it. Who was hanging out with this girl? There's only like 4 people. Who was hanging out with this girl that's responsible? It's one of those people. It's not an unknown suspect. So I'm going to type in the name of this girl right here. If you haven't heard of this girl's case, you guys need to check this out. I'm going to talk about it briefly, but there's many videos on this, like True Crime Daily, That Chapter. there's many videos on this case. I wouldn't recommend this, guys, if it was like something bad or boring or you wouldn't enjoy it. But I think this is very interesting and it's like a good mystery. And like I'm saying, like one of those people that you see in these pictures is most likely responsible. But let me smoke up here one more time. It's kind of a sad case, man. And there's a lot of information, like when you go down the rabbit hole and you actually look into it, there's like depositions on like police officers and stuff. I actually learned about gray hues through this case. I saw like a Lauren Agee case video pop up and it was like made by Gray Hughes. I was like, oh shit, I guess I'll click on that. Yeah, it's one of the friends, man. I think you probably heard of that, man. You probably heard of the case then. All right, story time. I'll do my best. I'm extremely high right now, but one more time. Okay, so Lauren Agee. So she's some girl. She's about like 20 years old, I believe. I'm pretty sure she's got a boyfriend at the time. And before school starts back up again, she's like, all right, I want to go to this place called Wave Fest. Wave Fest is where you're hanging out in the water. You're doing like jet skiing, like some tubing. You're swimming in the waters. You're hanging out on the docks, drinking beers, just hanging out like for the weekend or whatever. And it's like a huge thing called Wave Fest. And like everybody goes there. It's like a big gathering. So Lauren Agee goes there with her friend who's a female. And she has a boyfriend. And then there's also some other guy with her. So her friend who's a girl and then two guys. Those are the people that go there. So they go to this Wave Fest all together. And there's no room on the docks and shit for them to sleep that night or like to camp out. People got houseboats and shit. Some people got like tents, but like all the space is filled. Lauren Agee tries to go into one of the houseboats for the night and there was no room. She was like asking people apparently. She's like, yo, can I sleep in there? There was like no room. It was maxed out. So like one of the only spots they could camp out, they had to like swim or boat out. It's like a mini fucking island, man. So it's like by the docks and shit. You got to swim out a little bit to this island. It's like this massive weird rock fucking platform. It's not just some solid flat platform. It's like some giant fucking like cliff ass sketchy fucking mountain type deal. And they fucking, I think they go on a boat with like their tents and stuff. They fucking climb up and hike up to the top of this mini mountain island thing. And they throw their tents up there. They got like a hammock up there and shit. And that's where their campsite is going to be. And they like go back. They start drinking for the night and shit. Yeah, Wake Fest. That fucking thing. I think I was calling it Wave Fest. They fucking swim back to shore. There's like bars there and shit. So they leave their campsite on that fucking cliff. They go back to shore. They start fucking drinking for the night or whatever. Having beers. And pretty much they all got drunk there at the bar. And like, all right, we got to get back to our fucking cliff area. They boat back or whatever. Yeah. They boat back to that cliff and shit. And Lauren Agee, she doesn't really have it's a fucking sketchy spot to sleep. It's a hammock over the cliff. It's a hammock like hanging over a cliff. It's super sketch. And she was forced to sleep with a random dude. This random dude, because I was saying she went with her friend who's a female and two other guys. There was another random dude. She's got a boyfriend at the time. And there's some random dude who was like, yeah, I got to sleep in this hammock with you. He's like some Justin Bieber fucking couch surfer type deal. Everybody knows a guy like this. He's got the Justin Bieber hair. He's got the name brand clothes, but the guy doesn't have a job. He couch surfs all the time. Everybody knows that like douchebag like type guy. And he's like, yeah, like we got to sleep in this hammock together. And they're both drunk and shit. And her friend, who's a female, is in like some sort of tent thing with her boyfriend. So they can't like really see or hear anything. They're sleeping in there and shit. So she's on the hammock with some random dude. And this is where shit gets sketchy. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what happens after this. She stands up out of the hammock, apparently, and falls off the cliff and, like, drowns, is what apparently happened. Apparently, she got up in the middle of the night for whatever reason to probably go pee or something like that. And she just fell out of the hammock off the cliff and, like, hit her head and drowned or died. But this is the whole, like, controversial part. Like, it's possible, like, she didn't fucking try to get out. Maybe she was pushed out. Maybe she was killed. And they got a group of friends here, like, acting super sketchy when the police come. They're, like, whispering fucking in the boat because they got to go in a boat back to shore with the police. They're, like, talking about, like, organizing a plan, like, talking about shit. Even the police officers were saying this. Like, these guys are all whispering and stuff. They didn't separate these guys at all. So all these guys are together, like, organizing their plan, like, right in front of the police. They're not separated at all. And the police didn't even do, like, a huge interview that day. They did, like, huge interviews on them, like, a week later. So these guys even had more time. Like, they did, like, the brief interview with them. But they, even the one guy in the boat, he was like, yeah, I'm thinking about taking the gun off your hip right now and escaping this boat. And the cop's like, what? What the fuck did you just say? You're thinking about taking the gun off my hip and escaping? The guy randomly said that. The same guy that was sharing the hammock with Lauren Agee. So this dude is sketch. And if you guys look up the picture, he's the guy with the blonde hair, like the Justin Bieber, fucking his tongue sticking out like we're in fucking high school, like the douchebag guy, has a criminal record, a really bad criminal record. There's videos of his ex-girlfriend going on record on YouTube saying he was, like, an abusive guy, would, like, spit on her, push her. So we're seeing evidence on YouTube. If you guys look into this, it's his ex-girlfriend even comes out. Yeah, he was abusive. This is an abusive guy. He's got a criminal record. He might even be in jail right now for some, like, unrelated crime, like just doing random stuff, stealing, fucking breaking under, abusing girls. So he's a sketchy dude. So we don't know what happened, though. Did she actually stand up out of the hammock? Did Lauren Agee get up in the middle of the night and, like, actually fall? How come these guys are acting so sketchy? Their stories don't match up, too. Like, when they went and talked to the police, nothing matches up. Like, their stories don't match up. The timelines and everything, there's a lot of information, so I can't give you, like, times and everything. But essentially, the timelines they were all giving to the police don't match up. There was no rape kit done. So if anybody knows what that means is, like, if a female was to die, they're supposed to request. They have to request this. The police officer who was in charge, he was some rookie guy. I'll get into that in a minute. He was supposed to request a rape kit, and he did not do that. So we don't know if Lauren Agee was raped by this weirdo with the Justin Bieber haircut in the hammock because there was no rape kit done. She could have been raped in the hammock and then, like, just thrown. We don't know. And a couple of other sketchy parts about the crime scene. It appeared that she had a giant fucking triangle on her chest. And they were like, what the fuck is this? Why is there a triangle on this girl's chest? And they actually looked at a canoe that they had, the one they were taking back and forth from land to their fucking sketchy cliff I was talking about, where their camp is. The exact same type of triangle was on the canoe. So they were like, oh, well, they most likely then had picked her up and thrown her on the canoe, because that's the only way you can get that fucking triangle on your chest and shit. Like, there's no other way. And her body was found in a spot too when she fell out of the hammock. Based on the currents and waves they evaluated, her body ended up in a spot that it could not have been if she fell off. It was determined that somebody had to have placed her body there. If she fell off from the spot they were saying, there's no way her body could have gotten all the way over there because of the currents and everything. So it's super sketched. We got a mark on her. We're saying, all right, if she actually fell, there's no way the body could have been over there in the body of water. It's impossible. So it's super sketchy. And personally, if anybody has heard of this case, like, what I believe is, I think the guy with the blonde hair was responsible. There was reports of another guy by the name of Bricks who apparently swam over, because I was saying they went to the bars. They took the boat back to the sketchy cliff. Apparently there was a guy by the name of Bricks who came over for a brief amount of time, chilled with them for like an hour or two, and then just, like, went back over. But other than that, we don't know too much about that guy. Other than his name is Bricks, and he just went there briefly. Case is closed, actually. Case is closed now. It was considered accidental death, which is super fucked up. The mother tried to get it reopened like multiple times, but Lauren Agee's mother was unsuccessful. But honestly, if you look into this case, I feel like possibly a botched investigation. Like the guy investigating the crime, his name was Jeremy Taylor. He has multiple depositions you can look on here. His name is Jeremy Taylor. He was like the detective. They ask him a bunch of questions. Like there's like I think 4 hours worth of depositions on this guy. They ask him like everything. Uh, Lauren Agee's mother hired a private investigator by the name of Sheila Wysocki or some shit like that. I don't even know if I'm saying that name right. Sheila Wysocki. And fuck, I don't even know what I was saying now. I'm gonna smoke this though. Yeah, Jeremy Taylor deposition. So they talked to this lead detective, all right? His name's Jeremy Taylor. Like, I'll kind of sum it up. They talked to him a lot. Basically, this guy may have actually botched the investigation, but he was like really good friends with the sheriff pretty much. The guy who was running that small police station. He was very good friends with him. It was like pretty much determined in the depositions that he was hanging out with this guy outside of work, talking to him, like having beers with him, like working on stuff, going hunting. And this is the sheriff. So this guy possibly botched the investigation and they covered it up because they're good friends. And like based on his credentials, like they wanted to look at his work history and like, all right, what did you do to be qualified here to be like a detective? And first off, the guy never went to college, never anything like that. He'd only worked on a farm briefly with his grandfather. He did like some farm work with his grandfather, and then he went straight from like the farm work to being a police officer. And he only worked in the drug unit. He was mainly a drug guy. But because I guess what was it? The guy who investigates the murders for that small police station or county or whatever wasn't there that day or whatever. The drug unit guy, which is Jeremy Taylor, is forced to go and investigate this Lauren Agee case, which is a very weird case, in my opinion. So this guy's got no credentials, no experience in murder cases. He only works in like drug busts and stuff like that, watching houses. He even says this in his depositions. So this guy goes there, has little to no experience, and it looks like it's a weird crime scene. He doesn't even take evidence. Like even an experienced detective, like it would be challenging to them. But this new guy comes here. He's not taking evidence. Like they were still going there like months later and still finding parts of like the crime scene still there, like parts of their tent, like their underwear, like stuff like flip flops. He wasn't even taking evidence, man. So this guy had no training. He wasn't collecting evidence. He didn't ask for a rape kit I was talking about. You need to ask for that, like I was saying. So like when she's dead or whatever, she'll go like right to the cemetery or wherever they go, and or they go to the hospital. I guess they go to the hospital, do whatever, but you have to ask for the rape kit. Like they'll go to the hospital unless you ask for the rape kit, they won't do it. It's not like an automatic thing they do when a female, like a dead female, comes there. The officer has to request it, and he didn't ask for that. So it just shows his inexperience because we don't know if like she was sexually assaulted. And the man, oh fuck, I forgot this detail. He did not ask for the rape kit because she had a tampon in. He's like, oh yeah, she couldn't have been sexually assaulted because she had a tampon in. That was the weird part. Shows his inexperience. So he was basically saying because she had a tampon in, there's no way she was sexually assaulted just because the tampon, but easily. That's not true at all. It just shows his inexperience and his credentials. So anyways, name is Jeremy Taylor. And I think there's like 5 hours worth of depositions on this guy. Very interesting to listen to those depositions if you guys got the time. And yeah, that Jeremy Taylor guy was so bad. That's why the mother of Lauren Agee went and got the private investigator, Sheila Wysocki, and she's the one who actually got a lot of like this information. I think she's the one, this private investigator is the one who asked for these depositions to be done. And she's the one who went and interviewed that Justin Bieber fucking blonde hair guy she was sharing the hammock with. She went and interviewed his ex-girlfriend, and that's how I know he's abusive and has a criminal record and is a no good guy. If you listen to what his ex-girlfriend has to say, he's spitting on his ex-girlfriend, pushing her, I don't know if he hit her, but he's pushing her. I think he bites. Yo, he was biting his girlfriend. He was biting his girlfriend as well. That's just something he did. So he's an abusive guy. And personally, in my opinion, like after hearing about this, I think it was the guy. I think the guy with the blonde hair. I don't think he raped her or anything. I think he made a move on her because like they had to share the hammock that night. My conclusion is, I think the guy she was sharing the hammock with, the fucking Justin Bieber haircut guy, was denied. He approached like I don't know, tried to like make a move on her. You know, they're both drunk, sharing the hammock. He makes a move. He gets denied. He gets angry. He's got a history of abusing girls. He's drunk. He's angry, and he fucking I don't know. He pushes her out of the hammock. That's what I think happened. Even if it was an accident, I think he pushed her too hard. But I think the guy with the blonde hair she was sharing the hammock with is responsible for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it does. Except, like, I don't know. I feel like there'd be DNA, though, if there was a rape. Like, it's definitely possible. Definitely possible. We don't even know because the rape kit. And that's one thing that bothers me too. It's because that guy, the fucking guy with the blonde hair, he's such a sketchy dude with a criminal history that he could have raped her. He's capable of that. We know he's capable of that based on everything that's being said. So I think the blonde hair guy is responsible. I think possibly too, though. I think he may have even told the couple sleeping in the other tent because I was saying there was like a couple people that went to this cliff, and he was buddies with them. I think he told them. And that's why they're all whispering on the boat and stuff on the way back. Or they woke up to like a giant splash in the water, which was Lauren's body. I think they woke up and like, I don't know, he's like, bro, like he's good friends with these people. Lauren Agee is more of the one on the outside. They're kind of more of a group, and Lauren Agee is kind of like going into their group for this wake fest or whatever. So she's not really good friends with them. Like she's kind of good friends with one of the girls, the only girl that's there, but the guy in the hammock is best friends with her boyfriend. So all they had to do was have a quick conversation like, yo, fuck, it wasn't me, bro. It wasn't me, bro. She fell out of the hammock. And it's like, all right, when the police come, this is what we say. It was an accident. And like this, the thing though is the body ended up in a weird spot and she's got the triangle on her chest. So did they move the body? Did those, and man, when the body was discovered, another fact here, when the body was discovered by the police, the guy in the hammock with the blonde hair, his buddy who was sleeping that I was saying he was talking to, like right by him in the tent, they were in a fucking canoe going by Lauren's body when the police found the body. So they were going by like, oh, is that our friend over there in the water? And the police are like, fuck, looking at these guys and these two fucking idiots going by the crime scene, their canoe. Is that our friend over there? They know fucking it's their friend. They know it's their friend. They just happen to be cruising by in a fucking canoe. At the same time, the police are there. They wanted to see what was up. Those two fucking idiots, man. They're stupid as shit. And there's many more details about this case that's more sketchy, but I'm pretty high right now. I'm doing the best I can to remember. I have no information pulled up in front of me. So just like that, like the sketchy piece of information I just mentioned where they were going by the body in their canoe, that's another sketchy thing. I was saying when they're on the boat, he's like, yeah, I'm thinking about taking the gun off your hip right now. He should have been arrested for that. I feel like that's a crime itself. How can you sit there and say, I'm thinking about taking the gun off your hip and escaping from a police officer? So that alone, that guy should have been arrested, in my opinion. That's like a threat right there. That's like tampering with the crime scene or something. He's trying to escape. What? You still got to be questioned. And that's what I was saying too, is when they got brought back, like when the crime happened, they found the body and everything, they were getting brought back to the main shore by the police. They were just briefly questioned. And then they're like, all right, we're going to set up an interview. And they had like 7 days to talk about what was going on. Like they didn't go into the police station and have like an official sit down audio recording and everything, like on tape and all that shit until like 7 days later. So these guys could have easily organized a plan and talked over their plan like multiple times. And like, I don't know where I found the information out where it was like 6 or 7 days later, but it is true. So these guys didn't get interdicted. Usually you get brought to the police station right away. You know what I mean? These guys had like 7 days to make a plan. But I think it was the blonde guy. What's his name? Let me find his name. Let me accuse you right now, buddy, in case you see this. He probably looks this. Is it Chris? Is it Chris Stout? Is it you? I'll accuse you. I think it's Chris Stout. Yeah, that Justin Bieber fucking. He's on the hammock. This is his fucking hammock picture. It's fucking. He's got like his fucking tongue sticking out. He's got some dollar store glasses on. It's that guy, Chris Stout, I believe. I think he's in jail right now. But it is sketchy though. How we don't know a lot of it. Like, who was this guy that swam over? They were saying some guy by the name of Bricks or whatever swam over to their island. Like, he could have been responsible. We have no idea. That dude's married now, that guy named Bricks. Yeah, I recommend, though, you guys look at this case. Lauren Agee case. Has anybody heard of this case? I'm taking questions right now. I gotta get a drink here. Has anybody heard of this case? The Lauren Agee case. Faye King, it sounds like you've heard of this case before. Who do you think is responsible? Who do you think is responsible? Do you agree with me? It's the guy with the blonde hair, Chris Stout? Do you think it was the guy named Chris or fucking... Oh, you've heard of this case? Yeah, it's a popular one. I watched the Gray Hughes. Gray Hughes actually talked to the private investigator of this case named Sheila Wysocki. It was like Landon Arts, Gray Hughes, and Sheila Wysocki. And they were just like looking at the triangle on her chest. They have like a 1-hour video just of looking at the triangle on her chest. There's a lot of photos of her body that are out there. If you guys are trying to look at this, like you can see the triangle. There's a lot of photos out there. It's not like Delphi at all where everything's hidden and stuff. Like you guys can see a lot of photos. There's reenactments and stuff I'm looking at here. Hike to Lauren Agee's campsite. It's on 2020. I think they had a dummy and they were throwing it down where she apparently would have fell and it didn't match up. But if you guys look at that fucking hammock picture, that hammock, I would not have fucking slept there at all. I would not have slept there. Even if there was a hot girl and she's like, yo, I'll sleep with you on the hammock. Like some hot ass girl, I would not go on that hammock. I'd be like, fuck that. I'm not dying tonight. It's like right over a cliff. There's some good pictures of it here and it looks sketchy as fuck. I'm not sleeping by a fucking cliff. That's not happening. If I'm drunk, I still wouldn't do that. If I was drunk like that, I'd be even more scared. I'd be like, yo, fuck that. I'm going nowhere near that. I'm going to fall off. I can hardly stand it. Like, by the sounds of it, they were really fucked up. Especially the blonde hair guy in the hammock. Apparently, like, because when they went over to the bars for the night, they were drinking all night and shit. The guy with the blonde hair and shit, the Justin Bieber cut, he was so drunk that he was, like, falling asleep on people's houseboats. Like, they had to, like, they went and found the guy with the blonde hair, Chris Stout. They, like, found him on a houseboat. Like, yo, buddy, like, we got to go back to our fucking island now, to our fucking cliff. This dude's like, fuck, all right. He, like, wakes up, drags his ass back to fucking, that fucking cliff in the boat. But that dude was wasted. I think Lauren Agee was wasted, too. By the sounds of it, she was pretty bad. That's why I don't drink much anymore. I actually don't know if the victim was scared of heights. I don't think I've heard that, but it's definitely possible. I find it weird, though, because I thought she had a boyfriend. Like, I might be wrong, but I thought she had a boyfriend at this time. And then this dude she's never met before, they're going to fucking share a hammock together? That's weird. Botched investigation, in my opinion, too. Guy, I don't know if I'm rehashing this. But I just feel like it was a botched investigation too. Like maybe if we had a good investigator, a guy with some like actual credentials, this could have been solved. And we could have found out if it was actually the guy that I think it is. If we had an experienced detective and not some guy by the name of Jeremy Taylor, who has no credentials. It's his first murder investigation. Like I'm saying, his only experience is with like the drug unit and stuff. So if we had like an experienced detective come in here, he could have asked for the rape kit. He could have picked up evidence at the scene. he would have performed the fucking test that the private investigators are performing with the fucking test dummies, throwing it down the hill and shit. But I have a good hunch. Like, I don't even care if that guy sees this video. I think it's him. Yeah. I just think it's the only logical explanation. Like, I feel like it's down to two options what happened to her. Like, she actually did fall, or was the guy with the blonde hair? I feel like it's down to those two options. But if she actually did fall, why is her body in a spot that it shouldn't be if she fell? Why were they just going by with the canoe at the exact same time? Like, it's just such a sketchy case. Yo, Johnny R. Kramer, what's going on, man? How you doing, dude? Are you smoking tonight, man? Are you smoking tonight, man? Is anybody else smoking tonight? That's the real question. Yeah, that's true. Because like I've only been in a hammock one time, but they're fucking flimsy, man. They're flimsy as shit. And he was saying too, he said he never woke up. That's another part of the case never mentioned. He was saying when she accidentally got up in the middle of the night and fell, he said that he didn't hear a noise and he never woke up. But because you're saying if she fell, wouldn't you have like fell as well? Because the hammock is fucking sketchy, yeah. But he was saying, he's like, yo, I didn't even wake up, even though he's drunk as shit. Like, there's evidence he was drunk as shit. But the hammock is so sketchy, you would wake up. I would fucking wake up. And you would also hear like a giant splash, or you'd fucking hear like fucking somebody falling and like hitting their body on rocks and shit. Man, no, I'm not gay. I am straight as an arrow. Are you gay though? Are you gay, Ali? I am straight. Gay people are welcome, but I am straight, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was saying he didn't fucking wake up. I think he would have waken up. He probably did fucking wake up. That's part of the plan they discussed. I'm pretty sure. That dude knows something, or he's responsible, because it's down to those two options, 100%. Man, I don't even know what that is. There's a lot of sexualities these days, man. I don't even know what that one is. Can you explain? And really, how do you explain the body ending up in a spot that it can't end up, though? They check the currents and everything, and like based on everything, like I'm seeing it right now. There's no way the body could have got over there. And they're going by in the canoe at the same time. They probably moved the body. But I feel like in the end, though, whatever the result was, I feel like the blonde hair guy was fucking responsible. Whether they moved the body, whether he pushed her off, whether he pushed her out of the hammock, I feel like that fucking guy is responsible. John, you gotta look into this case. Was it proven that she was actually inside the hammock? Yeah. Yeah. What the story was, I'm pretty sure this is what the official story was, because this is actually a closed case now. I'm kind of revisiting this because it doesn't sit well with me. They're saying she just got up in the middle of the night, like the blonde hair guy said. She got up out of the hammock in the middle of the night and just fell down the cliff. But yeah, she was inside the hammock and stuff, sleeping, and she got up in the middle of the night. This is the report, apparently. She got up in the middle of the night, fell, and died. But I don't know. There's too much sketchy stuff saying otherwise. You wouldn't be organizing plans with your friends. You wouldn't be all having false stories about what happened. This guy that came over in the middle of the night, like, who is that guy? Why is he a mystery? And like, you can hear like interviews with these people too. Like, I can't play it here, but there's like tons of fucking interviews and stuff the private investigator did. She did like a really good job. She paints a different picture than the fucking shitty police officer did. Who's never done a murder investigation. Like, she should be a police officer. And like I'm thinking the guy who was the detective on this case, the Jeremy Taylor guy, I don't even think he is a police officer anymore. And another sketchy part about this, I think this happened the past couple of years or something, when they were trying to reopen the Lauren Agee case, because I was saying it's a closed case. They were saying she fell off and shit. The judge from the court who denied the appeal or was responsible for the appeal for the case to be reopened, like sent Lauren Agee's mom, like Lauren Agee's sister, a friend request on LinkedIn. So why is the judge sending her a fucking friend request? She's like 15 at the time, and he's responsible for the case. This high up fucking judge. So I don't know if like the result is in the waiting or what, but the judge is sending friend requests on LinkedIn to like the young daughter who's like 15 years old at the time, and he's responsible for the case to be reopened. So that's another sketchy part. Botched investigation. Some fucking like weirdo judge who's like targeting kids. Yeah, nobody knows who's telling the truth. They're all friends, like I'm saying too. Like Lauren Agee was like the fucking outcast, kind of. She was only kind of good friends. Like the person she was hanging out with, it's not somebody she was hanging out with like every single day at school. It's somebody that's just like she sees like once every 4 months and hangs out with for like a weekend. Like they had a history from the past. They probably hung out in grade school a lot, but now we're talking like the end of high school, college time. They hardly see each other anymore. She's got a boyfriend now, like who Lauren Agee's never met before. And then those two are good. Like Lauren's friend and the boyfriend are good friends with the guy in the hammock with the blonde hair, Chris Stout. So those three are like a good group. And then there's Lauren Agee coming in. So that's how shit goes down. I'm thinking they all just stuck together, kept a story. They had 7 days to come up with the plan. Way too much fucking time. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure they're all fucking lying. I feel like they're all fucking lying and hiding stuff because none of the stories match up. And like, I don't even think they can reappeal this case to be open now. I think it's closed for good. But I think they tried, then it got denied, and then I think it's done for good now. But that was a case I wanted to share. Yeah, that's a good point. That's what they're saying, John or Johnny R. Kramer. That's pretty much what the official police report is saying. They're saying it was like an accident where she just got up. She was drunk and shit. She was drinking all night. She went over to the bars and then came back in the boat to like the sketchy cliff. Could have woke up disoriented and fucking fell off. That's what they're saying. Chris is the guy who was sleeping in the hammock with her. That's who I think's responsible for this. Because she was sleeping in the hammock over the cliff with another fucking dude in this fucking hammock with her. A dude she's never even met before. Only this night. And she was looking for other sleeping arrangements. There's like reports of people saying Lauren Agee was like trying to get a place to sleep over by the bars where all the houseboats and all the VIP people are, all the rich people. They all got their fucking houseboats parked on the dock, and like there's beds in there. Fucking, those are the ballers. And then you got people with the tents and stuff, and like that was like Lauren Agee's year. They got the tents and shit, and they put their tents on that fucking sketchy mountain away from the bars and the houseboats and stuff. But that's definitely possible. That's what they're saying with the police report. I don't even think they took the hammock, to be honest. If you mean, did they take the hammock? I don't even think they took the hammock. That's a good question. That's a very good question because there could be like fucking semen or fucking bodily fluids on that hammock. You know what I mean? That's a good question. I'm not too sure. But I know for sure they were leaving a bunch of stuff at the crime scene because like they went back there like a week later or a month later and there was still stuff there. There was like fucking sandals there and all sorts of stuff from them, like actually from them, not from random people who came there. They weren't taking anything. They took some stuff, but I don't know if they took the hammock. They might have actually just left that there. But they probably didn't take the hammock because there was no rape kit done. So if they took the hammock, they would have found like some semen and been like, "Yo, we got to get the rape kit or something." That's a good question. I'll have to like look into that. That is the name of the girl. Watch the investigation. Very weird case, guys. That's a good question. Who was the last to see her? I think it was Chris. The reports are, because they were all by the bar and stuff, where the houseboats are, and their island's like over here. So they're at the bars and shit. And I guess they all went back together, back to their fucking cliff. And it must have been Chris. Yeah, they both just rest their heads in the hammock together. I'm pretty sure that was he was the last person then, because they both went to bed in the hammock. But I think it's fucking Chris, man. I'm telling you, he made a move on her. He was drunk. He's got a history. He made a move on her. He got mad. He's drunk. He's got a history of violence and with women. And I don't know if there was a struggle. I can't remember if there was bruises on her. There may have been a bite mark. Okay, another fact of the case. I was mentioning the guy she was sharing the hammock with has a history of biting girls. We know this from an interview that was done with his ex-girlfriend. There was a possible bite mark on Lauren Agee's chest that the detective who was taking the photos of her body, like I was saying, he's super inexperienced. He didn't zoom up on the bite mark. So if we would have checked out this bite mark, it could have had some DNA on it. It could have been fucking Chris's teeth. I don't know, but the detective didn't look at the bite mark. But if we would have confirmed it was a bite mark, we could have linked it to that guy because he's got a history of fucking biting people. The same guy who's she's sharing the hammock with. The same guy who I think killed her. She was hot. Yeah, she's a good-looking girl. I'll agree with that for sure. I will agree with that. That's probably why he made a sexual advance on her, Johnny. He's like, dang, she's a good-looking girl, you know? I'm out here. I'm a baller. He's got his little Justin Bieber haircut going on. Like, you know what I mean? His little fucking flow and his little fucking girly glasses on. He thinks he's baller with his little watch. He's like, all right, I'm going to make a move. And he's that type of guy, like I was saying. He's that type of guy. He's the couch surfer, douchebag. Everybody knows that type of guy. And, like, he's that type of guy. Chris is that type of guy. She's like, all right, I'm going to make a move. Good-looking girl. Gets denied. I don't know if there was a struggle. If we would have known there was a bite mark there, he probably bit her in the process. You know what I mean? Threw her off. She was drunk, too. So, like, I don't know if she stood a chance. This dude's got anger issues, a history. I don't know if there was a struggle, bit her, then threw her off. Maybe that's what I'm thinking, too. Another possibility here. Instead of he got mad and threw her off, possibly how the body got in the super weird spot. I was saying it couldn't have ended up if she actually fell off. Maybe there was a struggle and stuff where they were on the hammock. She didn't fall off, and he did something to her on land. And then he's like, all right, what do I do with this body? And then he threw her in the canoe. That's how she got the fucking triangle on her chest, I was saying. You guys will see that in the photo. She got a triangle on her chest. So he killed her on land, put her in the boat. That's how she got the mark on her chest. Brought her around to that weird section where the body couldn't have ended up if she fell off, and just threw the body out. That's how she got the mark on her chest, I'm thinking. That's another possibility anyways. That's not my main theory on what happened, but definitely a possibility. Because the body ending up where it was is a weird spot. Yeah, the Beamer cut, man. Nobody rocks that anymore. That's like 2009 haircut, man. You gotta cut that off now, man. You guys remember fucking Zac Efron? That Zac Efron fucking High School Musical? The fucking Justin Bieber? Nobody rocks that anymore. This ain't 2009, Johnny. Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And like I was saying too, he's like, yeah, I didn't wake up at all. He was saying she got up and like the hammock. If you guys have ever been on a hammock, if you guys see that hammock, it's literally a shitty tarp. That's not even like that's a custom made shitty little hammock they put up. It looks like it looks terrible. It looks tiny for two people. Are you serious? What? Let me pull up a better picture. I gotta see this hammock one more time. But the hammock looks so tiny. So this is my point, anyways. It looks custom made. It looks shitty. It looks tiny. It's probably so unstable, guys. If you guys have been in a hammock before, it looks unstable. If she was to get up for any reason to grab some water, to go to the bathroom, he would have woken up or possibly fell out of the hammock. There's no way. he would have fallen out of the hammock. She's drunk and stuff. She's not being silent for this random stranger, Chris Stout, she's never met before. She's not like, oh, I'm going to sneak out of this bed so I don't wake up Chris. She's probably like, fuck this. I got to take a piss. Just fucking gets out. He would have fallen out, woken up for sure. He's like, yep, didn't wake up. Sorry, guys, don't know nothing. Just slept through it. Went for my canoe ride in the morning and happened to go by her body at the same time the police found her body. That dude's story is sketch. I'm telling you. Chris Stout, I'm calling you out, little man. I know it was you. Calling you out, Chris. He probably checks YouTube and stuff. He's like, shit, people are on to me. Is this case going to be reopened again, guys? It might be. Like, anybody that looks at the evidence for this Lauren Agee case can easily see it was this fucking dude. Or these guys had something to do with it anyways. Just all this information. You could, like, convict somebody with this information, I'm pretty sure. But it's sad to see the private investigator, like, did everything. The private investigator did more than the police. The police are trash there. I don't know what county that is or whatever, but that police station's trash. And the detective no longer even works as like a police officer. Yes. There was many videos. I'm just a man trying to put awareness on this because the case is kind of dying down a little bit. But there's videos from like that chapter. There's True Crime Daily. There's a lot. Probably going to see a Mr. Ballin video soon. It's just one of those cases where it's weird. And like I was saying, unlike Delphi, I feel like Delphi, it's a random person. We've never seen his face before. The dude's a complete mystery. In this, it's one of these fucking people. I'm telling you. It wasn't a stranger. It was one of these 3 people that were up there on the cliff with her. We've seen the killer's face. It's one of those people. The chances of it being an accident, to me, are just too fucking slim. I don't buy it. There's too much sketchy stuff going on. There's too much sketchy stuff going on. You wouldn't be acting like that if she actually fell out and it was an accident. You would have been woken up drunk, like hungover, and then went for a canoe ride and found the body and like not have been trying to like pull out the fucking police officer's gun on his hip, like on the way back, like he was saying. Whispering about plans and stuff. Not having matching stories. And yeah, the fucking hammock, once again, I just looked up the picture. It looks like a tarp. It looks like a fucking tarp. It doesn't even look like a hammock at all. So to say you can't be woken up from that is ridiculous. It's not even a hammock. It is a hammock, I guess, if you throw up a fucking tarp and you hang it to 2 trees. It's a hammock. Like, you can't go to the store and purchase that, I'm pretty sure. And then the other couple that was sleeping beside Lauren Agee was in like some sort of tent. It wasn't like a hammock. They weren't just on the ground or a small tent. It was like this big contraption, like expensive thing to sleep in. Then they had an air mattress in there. So I could see those 2 for sure not hearing anything. But that fucking Chris guy. Yeah, he was bad. And like it's very interesting. Like there's depositions on this guy. You can hear this guy talk and everything. His name's Jeremy Taylor. Type this in just in case anybody sees this. There's probably about 4 hours worth of depositions from the like lead detective, Jeremy Taylor, on this case. And it's very interesting to hear what he has to say. Because they look at all angles from this guy. Like, was he qualified for this job? You get to hear that he worked in the drug unit. This is his first murder. And like, this isn't like a simple case, right? This isn't a simple like murder case. The body's in a weird spot. Like, you don't know, you got friends making plans. This isn't a simple case at all. Like I was saying, like a lead detective, this would be challenging. So you get to look at all angles from this guy, and you see that he's friends with the sheriff. So even if he did fuck this up, if this was like a regular detective, and this was a regular detective working this, and he botched the investigation, the sheriff or whatever would step in and be like, yes, like I believe he botched this investigation. But because he was friends with the sheriff, they were hanging out outside of work, working on fences. I think they were going hunting and shit, I believe they were saying in the depositions. He could have easily covered for his buddy. Easily. And then after that happened, I was saying he's no longer a cop. His buddy could have been like, all right, buddy, you can't work here no more. Like, just between us, like, I covered for you and shit. You got to get the fuck out of here now. Like some Keddy Cabin stuff. Similar to the Keddy Cabin murders. If anybody's familiar with that case, like the guy who I believe, his name was like Robert Smart, I believe he's responsible. He was like friends with the sheriff. And the fucking sheriff let him off. Well, I feel like that happened here possibly. Botched investigation because they're buddies. He just didn't intervene. He wasn't going to stop his buddy and be like, yeah, I'm calling you out. Botched investigation. He just like let it slide because they're friends. So definitely corruption there. Definitely a possibility. I'm pretty open-minded here. Once you listen to all this and you take in all the information, definitely possible. Gotta take a smoke break here. So we're smoking today. Let's open this up if anybody hasn't seen. I've shown it a couple times, but so we're smoking today. I believe it's called Northern Lights. Is anybody watching and knows about this case? Who do you think is responsible? I don't know how to see if anybody's watching, if there's anybody in here. But if there's anybody in here, who do you think is responsible? What do you think happened to Lauren Agee? I believe it was Chris Stout with the Justin Bieber haircut. The blonde hair. Hey, no problem, man. Look into it, man. Look into it. All right, guys. We're going to call it a stream right there. Hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.